everyone, and welcome to the Idris Diaries, Ep.2, 2014. And today I have a very special and most awesome guest with me, MatrixLord 212. How are you doing,
Oh,
MatrixLord?
thank you, Caroline. How you doing?
Oh, great. Thank you so much for joining me. You are my very first guest.
Yay! That's awesome.
Yay! Kudos.
Awesome. Hi, everybody.
I'm bowing to your magnificence.
Oh, you're the one that's awesome. Come on.
Hi. Today we are going to talk about movies and do a movie review on some of the last few movies that we both have seen, and then we'll talk about maybe a couple of movies that we're anxiously awaiting to see coming up in this year. So, to begin, we both saw Thor, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What did you think of it?
Well, Thor 2: The Dark World, I absolutely loved it because we actually got to see different parts of Asgard. We got to see different realms, different planets, and it was so awesome. Like we got to see Asgardian technology and what they used to fight and train. Besides, like the prison room and the mythology of all the villains that they went up against in the past, and I really enjoyed this so much. I thought the special effects were perfect. I thought the acting, I'm so glad Loki was in it again. I'm so glad Anthony Hopkins came back, Rene Russo. I love Rene Russo. And Tom Hiddleston, he is the best as Loki. He's the best Marvel villain. And Chris Hemsworth, he's actually, believe it or not, he has spoken out about Doctor Who. He's a huge Doctor Who fan.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
and
Didn't know
and he
that.
would love to play the Doctor. He actually said so. I loved the movie, and I only look forward to. There's got to be a Thor 3, and I'm not gonna say too much about what happens in the movie, but there's got to be a Thor 3, and I do see the Enchantress being a villain in the next one.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I think I was expecting a little bit more to it. I think I put it on too much of a higher pedestal, so to speak. So
Right,
so when I left, I was kind of a little bit upset about it because I was expecting more.
right.
But it was very enjoyable. To me, Tom Hiddleston's Loki basically stole the whole movie. Really, if he was not in it, I think it would have been kind of boring. You know,
Right.
and the one thing I was kind of upset about is with the what was it, Dark Elves.
Yeah.
That I mean, it would have been nice if they actually made this like a two-part movie, part one and part two, because it seemed like we really didn't get much of the villains in this one.
Well,
They
Christopher Eccleston, played the head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize that until afterwards when everybody was talking about it. But it's almost like you really didn't get as much as you could have gotten from them.
I think I tend to disagree because I think that we got to me I was satisfied with the elves, but I didn't like how they connected like Natalie Portman to the story. Like I really felt okay. That was kind of like they had to have some type of connection where he would come and see her and some type of excuse where something's unexplained. And it reminded me of the whole Dark Phoenix thing from the X-Men movies for a second with the black eyes and what she's doing. And then, ultimately, I guess he stood behind to be with her. But I don't know if she's going to be in the next movie. I mean, I think originally she didn't want to do it, I heard. But she had no choice. But I don't know if she's going to be in the next movie. But overall, I mean, I liked it in general. I thought it was a great movie. It was the first Thor was excellent, and so was this one. So I was, satisfied.
Yeah, I liked it. I was happy that I went to go see it. I would actually love if they would have a movie just with Tom Hiddleston.
Loki movie would be awesome. In fact, that's more deserving than these other stupid movies they want to do, the Sinister Six and Venom. I mean, of all villains, I know it's different companies like that, Sony, but if I was Disney, I would definitely do a Loki movie.
Yeah, I mean, he is. There's just something the way he plays his character. I mean, he is Loki. You know, the way he plays the role. I mean,
Like when he wants to be a brother, he's a brother. When he
yeah,
wants to be a villain, he's taking people out. He's going up against Iron Man. He's hurting people. He's killing Agent Coulson. But when he wants to be like he plays everything perfectly. I mean, he saved Natalie Portman's character,
yeah,
Jane Foster. He didn't have to save her, and he did that for his brother. He did that to be on good graces and to redeem himself in a way because maybe he does feel bad that
yeah,
he attacked New York. Maybe there is a possibility that in Avengers 3, possibly the Infinity Gauntlet, when they're going up against Thanos, there is a possibility that Loki will help the Avengers against Thanos because he was working for Thanos. So I see that eventually. I don't see him in Avengers 2, but I do see Loki in Avengers 3. And I think that, I don't know. I don't think he killed his father,
yeah,
but I think he's just having fun. Like he's
yeah.
a mischief.
I think it well, and that was like the whole central theme to the whole mythology of Loki, where Loki is known as the trickster.
Yeah,
So and he does a lot of like mind warp things where he makes
right.
people think what you know misdirection and all that stuff. So most likely he has the father held up somewhere, or maybe the father was just somewhere else and he faked out his brother.
I mean, I know it crushed him that
That
his
is,
mother died.
yeah. I mean
That destroyed him.
that scene was so epic, because then you really see, the emotions when he found out his mother
Oh,
died. I mean that was.
he was pissed.
Yeah, he was pissed. He was upset. He was like everything
And I
all
think
at
I
once.
think honestly he did it for his mother.
Yeah,
I think he thought, you know what? I wasn't able to like his last conversation with her wasn't pleasant. And he thought, well, let me do something that she would like and she would love for me and my brother to be together. And I think he really did it thinking about his mother and everything.
yeah, because he got the impression that he really did love his mother, although
Oh
you
yeah.
know he was being Loki.
Well, she would go against, Odin for Loki. She loved
Right.
Loki too. She loved them both. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, he was just so incredible in that movie. If you took him out of that movie, it wouldn't have been what it was.
I know. I know.
Yeah, too bad he didn't. He should get an award, like best supporting
I
actor
don't
or
know why they
something.
can't. Well, I mean, they should give him something. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely like People's Choice or something.
I'm sure he won the villain for the Kid Awards or something like.
Oh yeah, he
I
had
think
to have.
I think he did. Yeah.
All right, so did you see another movie, Ender's Game? Did you see that one?
No, I didn't see that.
I was actually a little upset that that movie didn't do as well as what I thought it was going to do. Um, it starred Asa Butterfield, who played Ender Wiggin, and the immortal Harrison Ford played Colonel Graff. And I never read the books. I didn't even know there was a book out. I guess this is like a whole series or something like that. But basically, you get the impression that this series like takes place somewhere in the not too distant future and on Earth. And at one time there was these aliens that attacked Earth and like pretty much like brought us to the brink of extinction. And this one like warrior, like this guy in the Air Force ended up saving. You got the impression that he sacrificed himself to like defeat the aliens. And ever since that point, Earth went on this mission, like a preemptive strike.
Right.
And Ender Wiggins, who's played by Asa Butterfield, he plays like this prodigy, and they bring him in to be like the head person to like win the war. And then Harrison Ford is the old fashioned like colonel, who only cares about saving Earth at any cost.
Right.
I don't want to get too much into it in case anybody ever wants to like see it when it comes out on DVD or whatever. I don't even know if it's out already, but it really didn't have like all the explosions and stuff like that you think a sci-fi show would. It was more of verged on the borderline of drama and political like satire, where it really it was kind of like socio-political.
Right.
So it really had a deep message, and the ending was like, oh wow. But
They advertised it like it was a massive action movie.
yeah, they really didn't have a lot of action. It was very much of a drama. I would say it was more of a drama than like sci-fi action.
Right.
When they did have some action, it was cool and the special effects was cool, but it was more of a drama that was really like central, and it was like the whole drama of this kid being plucked out of like the school. You know, it also had like another social thing where you got the impression that families were only allowed to have two children.
Wow.
Kind of like what China does right now, where you
Right.
can only have two children. The whole world is like that, where you can only have two children, and if you want to have a third child, you have to go to the government and seek permission. So
Wow.
you found out that Ender was the third child,
Right.
and the reason why he was the third child is because his two siblings, brother and sister, kind of washed out of the military. So basically, Ender was like, the third try for the family
Right.
to get like accolades for having like this successful kid in the military.
Wow.
So that was like a side plot, and his relationship with his sister, and then yeah, it was just really, there was a lot to it. It was more drama. So I
What do
can't
you rate it?
I really rated it out of a scale to 1 to 5. I rated a 5. I really, not only because of
Really?
Harrison Ford, not just because
Wow.
of Harrison, because just about everything. There was only one movie with Harrison Ford that I didn't like, and that was Mosquito Coast. But basically, everything else with Harrison Ford I've loved.
How was Ben Kingsley in it?
Ben Kingsley, who did he play?
Well, I know in Iron Man he played, the Mandarin or fake Mandarin, but I didn't see Ender's Game, so I don't know. I know
Oh,
he
I
was in.
can't remember who he played.
Hmm.
But basically the whole cast was really good. I mean, it was very
Right.
well acting. And the ending, I don't want to give it away, but the ending was kind of like, whoa,
Wow.
where I really didn't see that coming.
Right.
It was just a very good movie. I mean, I was kind of upset that it didn't get the blockbuster.
Yeah, I got the blockbuster, the box office report in front of me, and it had a budget of 110 million. Runtime of 1 hour and 54 minutes. Was released on November 1st. It did actually, here in the USA, it did 61,737,191. Overseas, it did 50,494,282. So a total gross of 112,231,473. So basically, a little over $2 million profit, which would not warrant it to have a sequel. But I did hear that Ender's Game is coming to TV as a TV series.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
heard that. I heard that too.
yeah,
I wonder if it would be with Harrison Ford.
I don't think so.
Mm,
Yeah,
that would be
so
cool.
I gotta really see it. So I didn't,
Yeah,
if,
it's really good. It's really good. It's not. It wasn't what I expected, but I was really happy with it when I actually compared it to Thor, because I saw Ender's Game and Thor at the same week.
right,
I saw Ender's Game on I think it was a Monday night. I saw Ender's Game,
Right.
and then I saw Thor the following Sunday. So
Right.
I saw them really close together, and I found myself thinking more about Ender's Game than I thought about a Thor like a couple of weeks
Wow.
later.
wow,
So I really, basically comparing the two, I actually think Ender's Game was a better movie.
Okay.
Although Thor, granted, did have the more action. So basically, in my opinion, if you're more into the action and stuff like that, you would like Thor. But
right.
if you're,
I'm a sci-fi nut, so I would
Yeah.
like. I'm sure I'm gonna watch it and see how it is. Ender's Game.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was. I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Uh,
What's another movie that you saw?
All right. Well, I went to see a while back Last Vegas. Now, I went with Sharon. This movie had some of my favorite actors in it. They had Robert De Niro, Kevin Kline, um, Morgan Freeman, and Michael Douglas, and they also had Mary Steenburgen. Uh, and you know what? You can't look at the movie like you can't pick at the movie. You can't like, you know what? Sometimes you just got to go to the movies and just have fun and don't be such a critic and just don't. You know, I actually enjoyed the movie. I mean, some people gave it some heat. I actually went there to have a good time, and I left there having a good time. Uh, it was, they're all getting older, these actors,
Right.
and they have to play the role of the actor of these characters that they're older, and they're not like they're prime. But to me, it was really a fun experience. They were all hysterical together. I was there was scenes that I could not even believe. Kevin Kline had me rolling. Robert De Niro did his little threatening mobster type of thing with these people. He made it like they were from the mafia and they wanted to get what they wanted to get. It was so because they had this guy that was young guy that was trying to pick on him, and then Robert De Niro just punched him in the face. I mean, it was great. I loved the whole dynamic, the whole story. That Michael Douglas was. I mean, it started off with Michael Douglas was going to his friend's funeral. And the movie was so crazy because from the first start, he's doing a eulogy on his friend in the church, and his friend's in the casket in front of him. And then he proposes to his girlfriend, who's like, she's like in her 20s, and he's like in his 60s, in the church, in the thing. Immediately, I'm like, he's like, oh, the heck with it. Like, my friend's dead. You only live once. I'm getting older. I love you. And I was starting cracking up because who does that, really? Nobody does that. And I was like, this movie is going to be awesome. Right off the bat. And then he calls up his friends. And this guy is like, oh, I'm on this medicine. Oh, my heart stopped before. And I have bowel syndrome and all. They're all like old and they're like talking about like what pills they're on. And he just asked them, they got to have a bachelor party for him. And then you find out he had a fight with De Niro, and De Niro was miserable. His wife died. And then they get together. They want to beat each other up. I mean, hysterical. And they take over. They basically take over Las Vegas with a bachelor party. They take over the main suite. They kick out 50 Cent. I mean, it's ridiculous. I can't even, and then 50 Cent goes to get the room back, and they're like, get out. It's like, I can't even believe how funny it was. It was hysterical. And it,
That sounds funny.
oh my God, what a great movie. They all played off of each other perfectly. It was like natural. That's the word. It was a natural. These actors are so great. Mary Steenburgen is so wonderful. She has class. It was a perfect movie. I
Oh, that's
loved
cool.
it. Yeah.
Sometimes that's what. Sometimes we forget going to the movies and to
Just
like
go to the movie.
enjoy it.
Yeah, just go to
Instead
the
of
movies and enjoy the movie. Sometimes you don't know what you just go to the movies. You don't have to be like who goes to. I don't go to the movies and critique things.
yeah.
I mean, we critique Doctor Who, but I mean, I go to the movies all the time. Like I could go to the movies every week, and I would just go see anything. Just because I want to just go to the movies and have fun.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. We went to see that, and it was a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had a similar experience last week. I went to go see Hercules.
Right.
Now I was going around telling everybody. Basically, nobody really wanted to go, so
Right.
so I asked my dad, and my dad's like, "Sure,
Yeah.
you're buying," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll buy."
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, tables kind of turned. Where my dad always
Right.
used to take me to the movies. Now I'm
See,
taking my
I'm
dad.
waiting for Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, to be doing his version of Hercules. So
Yeah, that's
I
that's supposed to be coming out this year too, right?
yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that one is going to be better, but I mean, I actually enjoyed it. I mean, for the sake of getting out of the house, being with my dad, and sitting down and watching a movie, I enjoyed it. I mean, beforehand, people were saying, "Oh, it's getting real bad reviews." The critics say it's awful. The fans on Fandango were saying, on an average, it was so-so.
Right.
But I actually enjoyed it for the sake of just sitting there and watching a movie with my dad. It was a fun movie. It was a different take on the traditional legend, where
Right.
in this movie, you found out that Hercules had an older brother,
Okay.
and basically the father and the older brother were like idiots, where they were like very vain, and
Right.
basically they were more preoccupied with taking over, Rome and Greece and all these other
Okay.
places. So the mother actually went and was at this, uh, chapel type thing,
Right.
uh, praying to Hera, and then
Right.
Hera came to her and said, "What do you want?" And then the mother's like, "Look, I just want someone that's going to be, uh, righteous and on the side of good instead of always wanting to conquer everything." And Hera basically told her, "Well, would you be willing to, uh, father or bear birth to Zeus's son?" And she's
Right.
like, and he goes, "If that will help save the world, then yeah, And then so that's how it happened. Where in the traditional legends, Zeus just went to Hercules' mother because she loved her, because he loved her. But
Right.
here it was because she was praying help from Hera, and Hera allowed Zeus to, you know, have the affair with Hercules' mother. So it was a different take on it. And the father was an idiot, or like one of these like overlord type people, and the son was just, one of these people that was like, "Oh, I'm entitled to everything." And then and
Right.
then and then Hercules throughout half of the movie, Hercules wasn't calling himself Hercules. He was calling himself the name that the father gave him, which started, I think, with an
What was
A.
that name?
I forget. It was some weird name, like started with an A, but it was a totally different name. It wasn't Hercules. And the only one that knew his name was Hercules was the mother, because Hera said, I am gonna, we are gonna call this child Hercules, although that's not gonna be his given name. So throughout the whole thing, his name was like totally different, and he was just the bumbling second, brother who was like into women and stuff like that.
But you loved the movie. I mean, the movie was
Yeah,
good, right?
it was very good. I actually liked it. It was a different take. The ending was, fabulous. It like, gave a nice little like nod to like the original Hercules, like the
Okay.
original one with who was the guy who played Hercules? From the
Oh, Kevin Sorbo.
no, this was the original back in
Oh,
like the '60s.
I forgot. Yeah.
But you remember in the original Hercules when you see him, he's changed to the column and then he breaks the chains.
Yeah.
They gave a little nod to that scene, but they just kind of like added to it with special effects and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, I actually enjoyed it. It was a fun. I mean, it's not going to be getting any Academy Awards for
Right.
acting or anything like that.
I know
But
the budget was 70 million. It did worldwide 13,
yeah,
a little over 13 million. So it wasn't a success, but it was probably. I'm gonna go see it. I mean, if
yeah,
I could see it.
it was fun. It was a fun
Yeah.
movie.
Okay.
So so that was my three movies. Do you have another movie?
Wolf of Wall Street. The Wolf of Wall Street was actually, I love that movie. It was a great movie, very funny, very long, but I didn't really realize. You don't realize it was like that long. I mean, when you went in there, it was like, it was just a fun ride. If you like Martin Scorsese movies, it was.
Yeah.
I think Leo DiCaprio should have an Oscar for that
Yeah,
role.
I think that one has a couple of Academy Award nominations. I
I
think
think he
for
won the Golden Globes. Yeah, but yeah, hopefully he gets
yeah, because
the Academy
I
Award.
think Leo DiCaprio has a nomination for an Oscar, and I think it's
Yeah.
also up for Best Picture.
If you like Goodfellas, I mean, it's like the same. The guy gets filthy rich. He breaks every law there is, and then it's the whole adventure through the whole thing. It was a really really good movie, very funny. Jonah Hill was hilarious in it, and they had the guy from Walking Dead in it too. The guy
Oh,
that played Shane, yeah, he was pretty cool. So
cool,
yeah, great movie actually, really good movie.
cool. All right, so tell me, what movie would you like? Are you anxiously awaiting this year, or what couple of movies?
Um, well, I want to see Captain America. I want to see Amazing Spider-Man 2. There's actually so many movies, X-Men movie. But besides the comic book movies, there's a lot that's going to come out. Another Lord of the Ring. Well, the Hobbit. So tons of movies actually. I can't even name them all.
Yeah, the two that I'm really looking forward to, although next week, is it next week? I think it's next week. It's going to be I Frankenstein.
Yeah, I
That's,
might go see that. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm planning on going to see that on the 26th. But the two movies I'm really looking forward to is the second uh, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes movie.
That I definitely want to see. Yeah.
You know, I actually told everybody, even if I have to go by myself, I'm going the day it opens.
Gary Oldman's in it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a really good movie.
I can't wait. I mean, I love that movie. You know, that's one of those movies we
Rise of
can
the
watch
Planet
over.
of the Apes was really, really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, so I just can't wait to go see that. And then I'm also kind of anxiously waiting for the Godzilla movie, because from what I hear, it's going to be old school Godzilla. I mean, it's going to be kind of modernized, but it's going to
Yeah.
be old school Godzilla.
That I can't wait for too. I mean, the kids love Godzilla also. So
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like any of like the newer versions because it wasn't Godzilla. It was just a giant lizard.
they're gonna start making a lot of movies with Godzilla now. This is the first because
Yeah.
America has the rights now. So
Yeah, I hope they keep it old school because nothing beats the old school Godzilla. So those are the two that I'm really looking forward to.
yeah, I think the next Godzilla movie is gonna have more villains in it, like more monsters. But this is just a start.
Yeah, I can't wait. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, we'll probably there's a lot of movies to see. And I don't know. I'll probably go to the movies this week and hopefully see
Cool.
something.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You know, and I hope everyone enjoyed listening. And if you have any comments or opinions, please feel free to comment. And I look forward to the next installment of the Idris Diaries. And have a great night, everyone.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
Thanks.